Alright, hope everybody's doing well, and I have a different video today about the 1949 Eureka sports stamps. And I found an article from Sports Collectors Daily, I think it is, back in 2020. The large 1949 Eureka sports stamps set is full of bargains, and that's true to some point. The first way I found out about them is COMC, and I always like to see what the cheapest cards are selling for in different vintage years, and I bought a couple. I can't remember, they were like, I think on sale during a Black Friday type thing for I think $1 stamp, which, you know, I should have, in retrospect, I should have bought more. Maybe they were $1.50, $2, I do not remember. But I was confused as to grading questions because I didn't know if they had a matte gum finish or a shiny gum finish. And you couldn't tell whether these were out of an album or in an album, and that greatly affects the value of the price. So I decided to just buy a couple and see what they look like, and I said, wow, I should get more. But then of course they bumped up in price back to the $3 or $4, which is nothing. But when you're doing a 200 card or 200 stamp set or whatever, and everybody's listing these things as rare, but this article says that they're very plentiful and not rare, and you can find them in albums and out of albums and complete albums and that sort of thing. But doing my research, there's not a whole lot on eBay currently. I mean, yes, there's a lot, but compared to other issues, there's not very many. This article also goes on to say that big name stars, these are only National League players, I believe, and so a lot of the big names are not in the set. But a lot of the big names, like Jackie Robinson, they stated that it's probably like an average grade is like a $100 card. But I did find two examples of the Jackie Robinson, which I don't have to show here. Two examples of Jackie Robinson. One was not graded. It had some black on the back of it from being in an album, whether it was the original album or another scrapbook. And all of the edges were chopped off, so all the white borders and the perforated edges were chopped off, and that was $100, pretty darn close to $100. The other Robinson was graded at like a 2 or something crazy, which is pretty low, and that was like $950. So there was nothing about this article, you know, this was also a couple years ago, so things have changed a little bit. But has Jackie Robinson in a 2 become a $950 card? I don't think so. It's graded. I also looked at examples, which I'll show at the end of the video perhaps. I looked at examples, and here is the sports stamp album right here, the 1949 sports stamp album. And I do, like I said, have 2 copies. I actually have another 5 copies on the way. Not of this, but of the stamps. And I wanted to buy a lot more, but if I had bought all the seller had, because there was a sale going on, it says you're not allowed to combine shipping with a seller, I would have been $75 tied up in PayPal, and I haven't heard back from the seller yet. I've already overpaid by $6 or $7 just on 5. So I mean, my shipping on 5 little mini stamps were $8.50. So I have to figure out what to do now. Anyway, back to the thing is that I don't like how the way they display in PSA holders. It's absolutely a crying shame or a criminal offense just to show you how that because they go in one of these kind of one size fits all kind of mini card type things, and they slip around and they're thin, so they slip through the sides, and it just looks, they get off center or crooked, and it just looks like, well, geez, I paid all this money and you don't have the ability to level a stamp. It's ridiculous. So I don't think I'm ever going to have them graded, but they do fit well in BCW pages as long as you're very careful with your stamps there, and don't crease them or fold them, putting them in the pages. A little bit on the difficult side to put in. It might actually be better to put them in regular baseball card pages, or if you can find one of those mid-sized cards, like for the mini cards, the Topps mini cards, if you can find pages for that, that would be ideal, because then you don't risk wrecking the stamps there. As I said, there are 200 in the set, and let me just show you the 2 that I have. These, well, great. The lighting is very bad. I'm going to do some pictures of those. Those are from the New York Giants, which has since folded in '58 or whatever like that. Who else can you get in the set here? They've got a lot of Braves. They got a lot of Dodgers. They have got a lot of Giants, as I said. In fact, Boston Braves is what they were called back then, as I'm thinking there. See, there's a Robinson stamp right there. I'll try to show you a closer look of the Robinson stamp. Not the greatest picture in the world, and some of these guys, that's their only card. They don't have any photographs, but they don't have any sports cards, or even just barely even one, because they're from 49. So that's really all I have for you, and I can't wait to get my other cards in eventually, and perhaps get some more, and maybe find an affordable Robinson that's not even $100. That's the top card in the set, and thank you for watching.